You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, the #1 rated robot-related podcast in northeastern Ontario.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode 183 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday. What's today, Josh?
The 12th. No, the 14th.
Of January,
Yes.
2018. I'm your host, Sean.
Josh.
Kitty.
Shane.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Human-cyborg relations.
Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
You're not quite, human, are you?
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot!
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
How's everybody doing today?
Not bad.
Scared a little bit, to be honest.
Scared.
Yes, because today is my anniversary and I just messed up the date.
Uh-oh.
Maybe Sarah won't listen to this. Okay.
Okay.
No. So long as you know what day it is, you don't need to know the numerical value. You just need to know that it is today.
That's a good point.
So long as it actually is today and not one of the number dates you got wrong.
Plus,
It is today. Well, technically yesterday because we're filming this on the 13th. So the 13th is my anniversary.
That's right. Today is the 13th,
Yes.
but this will come out on the 14th.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
that's what screwed him up, Sarah. If you're listening.
If you're listening.
You better be listening.
I'll make sure she listens.
All right, so anyway, enough of that crap. Last week we had episode 182 with special guest star Jason.
We did.
And it was a very well-received episode. Lots of people listened to it.
That's good.
And now they know all about the Northern Ontario Expo, the 8th year running, and all the guests and stuff. And if they don't know, they can listen to last week's episode. And if they don't know the movies that are coming out, they can listen to the one before that, which was our 4th year anniversary episode.
Yeah.
Which nobody's listened to. For some reason. It's our lowest rated episode to listen to so far. Our 4th year anniversary spectacular extravaganza. I am so not impressed that nobody's listened to it. Or very few people have.
To
That's kind of
replay.
sad.
It is very sad. But anyway, let's move on to episode 183.
I think it's because we're too self-indulgent, they think.
It came out at the beginning of the new year, so maybe people are busy.
I really have
I
a
think that's
feeling
it.
that it's probably just that people are insanely busy.
It's timing.
I haven't even watched television.
What?
Yeah, I've seen no television, really no Netflix in weeks. Like, we watched an episode of Voltron between, like, Christmas and now.
Yeah, I saw
And
that
was-
season 4 has come out on Netflix, and I haven't.
We're
got
not
to it.
even on season 4 because we only watched, like, one episode, like, a month. Because, like, I was like, we'll do it together as a family. And we don't, like, watch ahead because I made everybody promise.
I know, we discussed this on a previous episode.
Because I don't want to have to murder
It was
anybody.
a very fascinating discussion.
Yes.
Because you guys, the way you watch it. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so we watched, like, one episode. And that's the only television I've seen. I haven't seen anything else. I tried to watch something, and then I fell asleep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Well, before we get into that, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm getting over a cold, so my voice sounds a little bit weird and messed up.
That sounds fine.
Does it sound fine?
Sounds
It sounds
Yeah, it
messed
sounds
up in my
fine.
head. But it's okay?
It's okay.
All
I
right.
bet your sinus cavities are clogged with grossness.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I wanted to know? Your store has recently moved from 229 Pine Street South in the Earth Solar System to the 101 Mall,
Yeah, 38 Pine Street North.
Unit 106.
We just moved up the street.
How the heck is it going at
It's
the new
actually
location?
really good. It's part of the reason why I haven't watched any TV, though.
Oh.
It's really good. It's just, I've been really, really busy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you getting lots of customers?
We are getting a lot of customers. We're getting many of our previous customers who we are very pleased are following us to our new location. But then we're also getting a bunch of brand new customers, which is really cool.
That is.
And some of them are like, I don't know what to call people who aren't geeks. Because, like, they seem sad when I call them normal.
Normals, yeah.
They seem sad when I call them normals. And also some geeky people are kind of sad that they're not normals. And I'm like, but it doesn't matter what you are. You can like whatever you like. I'll still...
Sell you stuff.
Yeah, you can still come in and I'll still give you things. What's that, sorry?
Call them muns.
Oh, the mundanes? Yes, the muns.
Oh, yeah, that's even better than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be called a mun.
Well, at old conventions that we went to, there's a rule in the Anime North handbook, and it says, no freaking the mundanes. It's the rule. And I was like, what does that even mean? And it had to be explained to me that a mundane is a person that is not a person...
Into the geek culture.
Into the geek culture, and you're not allowed to freak them out.
But that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's half the fun.
Yeah,
Why would you
but
not?
because it happened before where there was like car accidents and like crazy things happened.
Like a War of the Worlds kind of.
Yeah, but it was like all contained around the
I have
the event.
witnessed while walking from one place to another, from the hotel to the convention center, this guy harassed one of the cosplayers walking by, and he threw something at him, and then a bunch of the other cosplayers who all had their giant anime weapons ran after the guy, and they chased him down the freeway for, I don't know,
Yeah.
kilometer and a half.
Nice.
And like,
I mean, it sounds like he deserved it.
yeah, well, that one's okay, but like the problem is that people watching often think like it becomes a bigger thing than it should be because they're in costume, they have fake weapons, sometimes they chase them far away from the convention center, so other people have no idea what's going on. So yeah, and then it winds up with bad PR for the event that's going on, so it's just best not to do it.
That makes sense.
So, long story short, what you're telling me is the change in location is A-okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're even starting to carry some basic board games.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like for normal people?
Yeah.
Like what? Like Monopoly?
Well, actually, you know what? All suppliers of board games currently have no regular Monopoly.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's all the Justice League Monopoly, Spider-Man Monopoly,
Star
Lord of the
Wars
Rings.
Monopoly,
Right.
Legend of Zelda Monopoly, Whoville Monopoly, specific hometown Monopoly. There's no regular Monopoly.
Huh.
We can't find it anywhere. Like, I can't find it to purchase regular Monopoly to sell it.
I have a Princess Bride Monopoly.
Do you?
It's still in its wrapper and stuff.
And
I
stuff.
think it's great.
That sounds awesome. We tried to get a regular Snakes and Ladders, because, like, I really like Snakes and Ladders, and I remember enjoying it as a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember the last place I saw Snakes and Ladders available to purchase anywhere in stores, and I think it's a game that kids would enjoy, especially because we get some normie kids coming into the store now, and they want games, but a lot of the games that we have are more complicated, because they're for children who are more adept at reading or math. But we got Snakes and Ladders, but it's 3D!
Oh, that's cool.
So you play with these like little marble things, and when you get to a slide, your marble goes down the chute.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
In other news, Canadian actor Donnelly Rhodes, best known for his work on Battlestar Galactica, has passed away at the age of 80. According to his talent agency, and as reported by Moviephone, Rhodes died in Canada on Monday following a battle with cancer. The veteran TV actor with more than 100 acting credits to his name will be recognized by most viewers as Dr. Sherman Caudle from Sci-Fi's Battlestar Galactica series in 2004. Rhodes appeared in 36 episodes of the series from 2004 to 2009. In addition to his Battlestar Galactica role, Rhodes had a habit of appearing on many different shows that have become an integral part of geek culture. The actor had small roles in Smallville, The X-Files, The Dead Zone, Psych, and Supernatural. He also appeared in Tron Legacy. His most recent role was 2016's Arrowverse crossover event Invasion, where he played Agent Smith in 2 episodes.
Oh, that's very sad.
So, that's our sad news of the day. But I got some good news!
Your transitions need work this week, man.
Yeah, 'cause
Hey.
we were going from like the store straight into death. It's
Well,
just,
I'm feeling
It's a
a little
roller coaster.
it is.
Hey, I'm under the weather, so what can you do?
This is what happens when Sean's head fills with snot. You get chaos.
Chaos on the Bridge. Directed by William Shatner. Oh wait, that's not what we're talking
Where he
about.
takes a nap.
We're talking about the fact that Fox pushes New Mutants and Gambit back, but Deadpool 2 moves up. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
I did. They're pushing New Mutants back 10 months.
From April 13th of this year to February 22nd of next year, because it's not scary enough.
But May is going to be insane.
May is going to be insane.
I don't know. Like, before we jump back to May, let's deal with the New Mutants thing. That does not bode well.
It's not scary enough, so they want to make it scarier.
I have high hopes for New Mutants. I do.
I do not. They're pushing it back far enough that they might be pushing it enough to be like, it's Marvel's problem. They may be pushing it like, help us, we don't know what we're doing with this.
No, because Fox is fairly good when it comes to
Really?
horror and stuff.
Yeah, but this isn't horror.
It is horror.
It is horror.
No, it is comic book horror. And in there, they have a problem.
I think it's horror first, and then they've added the comic into it.
Well, we have to wait months and months next year sometime to see.
Yeah.
13 months from now. But anyway, Deadpool 2 and Gambit have new release dates. Deadpool 2 shifted up. It's going to hit May 18th. It will now open between Avengers Infinity War and Solo: A Star Wars Story. but Gambit is being pushed back because Gore Verbinski exited the project.
Why is it still on the schedule? Nobody's going to make it.
I think people think that just because Channing Tatum's been behind it for so long, that it could possibly be the next Deadpool.
No.
But there's no way. It's not going to happen.
First of all, Channing Tatum is not the actor that Ryan Reynolds is.
No.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted them to get somebody who could do a Louisiana accent. Like maybe somebody from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
They must have actors.
They do. You would think so.
Yeah, there are actors with Cajun accents.
They do come out of the bayou every once in a while.
Yeah. It's just difficult because people with Cajun accents, it's probably a little bit harder for them to get into Hollywood because the accent is so thick that it'd be difficult to get roles that aren't. We need someone with a Cajun accent.
Yeah, but like
all you have to
that's
do
one
is
of the
break.
nicest accents.
Like you can break accents pretty easy nowadays.
Some people can.
But the mix of how he speaks and the drawl at the same time, that's got to be kind of a little bit more difficult. It's not like it's just an accent, it's a whole way of speaking.
True. That's why you pull in somebody from the Louisiana Bayou area. You bring them in as an actor, right? Let them go natural, and then you help them break their accent for the next role they're going after.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to go to American Standard than go from American Standard to a specific.
It's true. A lot
regional.
of Brits do it.
This is true.
I just think it'd be cool if like there were more people with more accents in movies. I know people in America apparently have a lot of trouble with accents.
Apparently.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get
Yeah.
on that again. That's just...
What
It's a
movie?
weird, decisive thing.
We
We'll
watched
embarrass
a
ourselves.
movie,
Yeah.
and they subtitled an Englishman.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
It's like, no, he's speaking English. So they even have to subtitle some Englishmen
Yes.
for some Americans. So that's pretty bad.
Like, were they speaking Cockney? Like, was it...
No, not Cockney, not London, lower end.
It was like James Bond, right?
Like it was posh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was clearly enunciated Queen's English.
So it was like Daniel Craig just speaking, regularly.
Yep.
And they subtitled.
Ooh.
And my dad, they subtitled them wrong.
That would be really funny to watch.
So instead of just taking his words and putting them as words so you can read them, they changed the slang terms that he used to make it more understandable.
So they dumbed it down.
Yeah.
That's really
Right on.
bizarre.
So not only did they subtitle them, they made him look like...
Do you remember what this was? No.
It was years ago on Spike TV.
Okay.
Spike TV.
Hey, speaking of TV, did you guys watch John Wick?
I did.
Yes.
Did you know that the John Wick TV series is officially happening on Stars?
Yes.
Ooh, no, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I've got an article I can read to you. We're still more than a year away from the third entry in the John Wick franchise starring Keanu Reeves as the titular assassin who's really just trying to bond with a dog. But fans of the series will be pleased to learn that the previously rumored television spin-off has found a home on Stars. Set in the same world as the John Wick films, the Continental will tell the story of the Continental Hotel, a place where the world's deadliest assassins go to lay low when they aren't out and about killing people. Though Reeves has not been confirmed to reprise his role as Wick on the series, he'll serve as co-executive producer along with Basil Iwanek and Chad something or other, who directed all three John Wick films. Chris Collins, the man in the High Castle, will serve as showrunner and writer. Though the Continental's home on television might make you assume that the show won't be nearly as action-packed as the film series it's tied to, Starz is confident that the show will be able to deliver on epic fight scenes. Said Starz CEO Chris Albrecht today at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour, the Continental promises to include the thunderous fight sequences and intensely staged shootouts between professional assassins and their targets that fans have come to expect in the John Wick movie franchise, as well as introducing some new, darkly compelling characters who inhabit this underground world. So are we excited about this?
Yeah, actually.
Doesn't that sound good?
My sister Julie's been watching Man in High Castle, and she says it's amazing.
What is that about?
It's actually
an alternate world where the Allies lost World War II.
Oh, I did hear about that.
And the United States is broken up into the Japanese side and the Nazi side.
Oh.
And it mostly follows this one woman who's mistaken for her sister, who's like an informant for rebels, and her sister is killed because she's an informant for the rebels, and then she takes her place to like go and find out what's going on and why her sister was killed, and It looks really good.
And who's watching this?
And there's some
My sister Julie.
and there's some trans-dimensional stuff going on as well, because there's videos of the world after the Americans and the Allies won the war.
Oh.
So
you've seen it?
I've seen some of it.
Okay.
I enjoyed what I watched, but then I got distracted by other more
YouTube
interesting
videos.
stuff.
Have you guys been following this season of X-Files?
No.
I have not.
There's been 2 episodes so far, and Gillian Anderson, Scully herself, says this will be her last season, and she's also leaving American Gods.
Yeah, I find
I don't know what's happening with her. but
worrying.
She's leaving all this stuff.
Yeah, they can't be good.
No.
She can simply be deciding, I'm done.
Do you remember back in the 90s when we thought Gillian Anderson was the hottest thing ever?
Yeah.
Have you seen her on Hannibal?
No.
She's still a very attractive woman.
Oh yeah, she's alright.
Great.
Yeah. But all the geek boys back in the 90s, we were all in love with her like crazy.
She looks better now than she did then.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't find her terribly attractive back then.
No.
I thought she looked very stereotypical 90s power woman.
I think she looks great. She's always looked great.
Yeah.
She was okay looking, but she wasn't like the big draw for me.
Well, I just
Like-
Was it all the
Yeah.
weird stuff that happened in X-Files that you were after?
Well, yes, I enjoyed that much more than I wasn't drawn to her as in physically. She wasn't that attractive to me.
it's
Now
all
you
the
watch Weird
oversized
Science. Now you got an attractive lady there.
Kelly LeBrock.
Oh yeah, seen it yet?
That was the point of that whole movie, though.
Have you seen Weird Science?
I have. Yes.
You've watched a classic film of sci-fi?
Yes.
No way. Oh, you're not Luke.
No,
Right.
I've watched a lot of classic
You're-
sci-fi. I didn't watch Star Trek.
You're just the guy who hasn't watched Star Trek.
Yes.
And have you watched any since we last recorded?
I did.
Yeah? What was
Yes.
that? What did you watch?
I watched the episode where Spock, McCoy, and Kirk all decide to take a break. They put on a nice movie, and they all end up taking a nap.
Really? You watched that one?
I did.
You watched the lost episode?
I did.
How did you find it?
You know what? I was just searching around, and
Did you go to the Mirror Universe? Where Star Trek, the original series, went beyond 3 seasons?
I think that might have been it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that you didn't watch this past Sunday's episode 10 of Star Trek Discovery, directed by number 1 himself, Jonathan Frakes.
He's so many series behind.
I'm guessing you also didn't watch it.
No. Why would I have watched it? I told you many
Yeah.
episodes that
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
Did you guys wind up discussing how we were all compared to the original series Star Trek characters?
Before we get into that, I just have to say, this episode of Star Trek Discovery called Despite Yourself, friggin' amazing. They went to the Mirror Universe. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. No, don't even make any comments. You don't know anything. So, they went to the Mirror Universe. Lorca had to disguise himself over the con as a Scottish engineer. And the Easter eggs, it was just amazing. Absolutely incredible. The action sequences, the costumes. I'm in love with Captain Killy. It's amazing. You guys have to watch this. It's the best series ever.
So they went to the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, they did. Whether they went to the classic Mirror Universe or an alternate Mirror Universe, I don't know.
Okay. There is the Mirror Universe.
They are in a Mirror
The
Universe.
Terran Empire and all that.
There is the Terran Empire.
So it's the Mirror Universe. So they went there.
Yes, they did.
They went there with knowledge of what was there.
They didn't. They had to get a...
So they came back with knowledge of what was there.
No, they're still there. But they were in a debris field, and they had to use a worker bee machine to get a data core from one of the damaged ships so they could find out the information about where they were.
Okay. Nope.
I'm guessing they're not supposed to know that the Mirror Universe exists.
No, because the first time you run into it is in the original series, which takes place after this.
Yeah, but they don't know they're in the Mirror Universe where Kirk was. They just know they're in a Mirror Universe. But they do know they do have data files on the USS Defiant, which we saw in the two-parter Enterprise in A Mirror Darkly. So they'll have to go get those data files to find out more information about where they are and what's going on.
Okay.
It was incredible. It was amazing. The uniforms were fantastic. The fight scene was great. There's an agonizer booth, more than one. It's,
An agonizer booth.
Yeah.
Do you put coins in it?
No, you put people in it.
It's a torture device.
Yeah, well, so is the suicide booth on Futurama. That's what it made me think of immediately.
Well, you haven't seen this episode either, have you?
No, I haven't seen TV.
Well, my good buddies from over across the pond, Paul and Dan, had a great discussion on my Facebook posts about it. Paul is still on your camp. Dan's on my side.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, so it's that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it there.
Transatlantic high five.
It was a great episode. I'm looking forward to seeing how the last 5 episodes of the season play out, or 4, or whatever, how many episodes they're having, I don't remember. But it's incredible, and you are missing out, my good friend.
Not missing out.
You are. You're going to be so sad and disappointed that you didn't watch it live as it happened like we did in the 90s. Oh, man, I just can't tell you. Anyway, Katie, moving on. What were we compared to? TOS characters now?
U.S. characters?
TOS characters.
Ah, yes. Original series Star Trek characters.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
We were all compared to them.
Who?
You and Josh and myself.
Who compared us?
Furbob. On Facebook a while ago. I don't remember.
I don't recall this.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody was talking about how the difference between you and Josh is interesting because you have an unlikely friendship. Like, you're clearly friends because you meet once a week and talk about the things that you enjoy/hate. And one of you is very passionate and doesn't always
Oh, I do recall something about
think
this
about
now.
things
Yes.
before they do them. They just go forward doing what they want to do. And the other one thinks about logic and repercussions and stuff like that.
And it was Paul who said this.
Yes. And then somebody else is very sarcastic and witty. I'm McCoy, if you don't know.
Holy rusted metal, Batman!
All right, now we're back from the pause where I looked up my Facebook comments and I found exactly what you're talking about. It was not Furbob. It was our good friend Richard from Australia.
Oh, yes.
And December 31st, he wrote, "So as 2017 draws to a close in my part of the world, I thought I'd wish all Rusties a great geeky 2018 and leave you with this profound thought on the Rusted Robots odd couple of Sean and Josh. Josh needs to stop fidgeting because he's shaking my phone. Thank you." I mean, they could not be more different in nature, yet seem to have a great friendship going, kind of like the emotional and passionate Kirk to the logic of Spock, or maybe Mirror Universe Spock. Sean is the emotional and passionate guy. I reckon Sean would be a shipper in genre TV and movies, loving the couples and wanting them to get together, and he's all about the shiny. Josh, on the other hand, is your logical realist and man of facts and figures, and wanting everything to fit just so. For example, I could see them watching a movie or TV show, well, obviously not Discovery, together, and Sean would be like, "Wow, the battles are awesome, and I loved it when the two heroes finally got together." And Josh would be all like, "No, you just can't hold that position in 0G. Seriously, it wouldn't work. Am I right? Totally meant it in jest and fun, and no offense intended to either of you fine hosts. P.S. I think that may make Katie the McCoy. Ponder that."
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you were talking about.
I assume that he means my wit and sarcasm because that is clearly the best part about Bones.
So we went to the theater quite some time back to watch Star Trek Discovery.
Beyond.
And yes, you were quite right. During the movie, I said to Sean, "No, they can't do that. Gravity doesn't work that way."
You did say that. It's true.
So yes, you are quite right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I did mean to read that earlier, but I forgot about it. But I did comment on it. But I'm glad you brought that up.
It was one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry
was-
for forgetting your name,
So-
Richard.
So I'm Spock, the one who has all the brains in the organization.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sean is Kirk, who has all the ego.
Yeah.
No, Captain, I think that's a bad idea.
We're doing it anyway.
Full thrusters!
Katie's McCoy, full of sass and homespun.
Down home charm.
Yeah.
And Shane is a red shirt.
What?
Oh no, Shane's
No.
the red shirt? That's sad.
I
He
know
can't
enough
be
to
a
know
red
that's
shirt.
bad.
He could be Scotty. He's a red shirt. He doesn't die.
No, he's not Scotty.
No.
Why not?
He might be a Chekhov.
He could be a Chekhov.
He could be.
But he shows up occasionally with important news for us.
What's the go-to yeoman?
Rand?
Yeah, he can be Yeoman Rand.
It could be.
Nobody even knows who he is most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
No! He's right there!
Ow!
Now maybe you'll watch some Star Trek.
Maybe I will, because I didn't get half of that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Hey, so we got trailers this week.
We do!
And since we were just talking about Star Trek, let's play the trailer for Please Stand By.
Captain's log. Final entry. Spock and I are the sole survivors. Enterprise, are you there?
Morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Scotty.
Can we go over your everyday schedule?
Wake up, go to work.
Welcome to Cinnabon. Would you like a Cinnabon?
How's your script coming?
I just wrote a story where Spock travels to Deep Space Nine.
That sounds awesome.
3 p.m., take Pete for a walk. 6 p.m., watch Star Trek before I go to bed.
Send in your script highlighting the best of the Star Trek universe.
Next week, your sister's coming.
There's a Star Trek script writing contest. We can go to the post office, and then I can go home with you. Can you please tell Audrey that I'm ready to go home now?
Please stand by. Breathe.
Your completed script must be received by February 16th.
Where are you going?
Los Angeles. Bus driver, my friend needs to pee.
Don't do it, Pete!
This is what happens when you pee on the bus.
Me and my boyfriend, we're actually going down to LA. Maybe you should just come with us.
She's 5'4", blonde.
That's her.
Hey! I know he's the hero of Star Wars, but who exactly is this Kirk person?
She's out there, alone.
She's a very resourceful girl.
Give me my notebook back!
Where am I?
You're at the hospital, you hit your head.
She jumped out the window!
How did she get away from you people?
Nadeb Yohosh.
What language is that?
It's Klingon.
Your sister is one of the most complex and creative people I know.
People have their own lives, and after a while, those lives don't include you.
Captain, there's only one logical direction in which to go. Forward.
Light. It can travel for millions of years before finally reaching its destination.
Do you know how hard it is to write something? Because the story you want to tell means so much to you?
It goes lonely and alone, hoping that it will reach someone.
That's amazing. So what happens next?
The unknown is there for us to conquer, not to fear.
What was Leonard McCoy's daughter's name?
Joanna.
Oh, snap! Payoff!
That was the trailer for Please Stand By. I heard about it on Engaged, the official Star Trek podcast hosted by Jordan Hoffman, and he said it was horrible.
It's a feel-good adventure movie.
I want to see it.
Do you know what I'm not interested in anymore?
What's that?
Feel-good movies like that. They don't.
They don't feel good?
No.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad, eh? I really want to see it.
It has good actors in it.
Mm-hmm. Dakota Fanning, I think it was.
Dakota Fanning, Patton Oswalt.
Alice Eve is in it, and she played Carol Marcus in Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, so it has potential, but it could go either way.
It's once again making Star Trek fans look like freaks.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she has some issues.
Yeah. The only people we see in the trailer that are Star Trek fans don't look good. They come across as looking like, because we see her
and Patton Oswalt as the schlubby cop.
Her friends that are betting that she doesn't know the lore, right? And they're pulling up obscure stuff, and they're all minimum wage workers. All of them.
Not Patton Oswalt. He plays the
Patton Oswalt wasn't a part of that group.
No, but he speaks Klingon.
Yes.
Most of the people, though...
And he looks embarrassed when he has to admit he knows that to his partner.
How do most people look when they say that they know Klingon and they're outside a comic book shop? I haven't seen it.
I've honestly never seen anyone other than Klingons that understand Klingon.
I think
yeah,
anybody...
but I run into them all the time, but they look normal when they're in my shop because they're...
I am impressed by anybody who knows a second language, no matter what that second language is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be embarrassed. If I could speak Klingon, I would speak Klingon. Totally I would. Or French, or Spanish, or Swahili, or whatever.
Your conlangs are actually much more reasonable than your natural languages.
Because you're more likely to run into other people who speak that language?
No, because conlangs are constructed in such a way that they make sense to linguists, as opposed to natural languages.
Like English, where we just steal things from other languages and make it
well,
our
all
own.
languages do that.
Uh-huh.
And there's like these weird exceptions that were like throwbacks to times when we did something different.
I before E, except after C, except in caffeine, weird, Rottweiler.
There are more examples against that than for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's all these weird little nuances that aren't intuitive and don't make sense to like minute and minute. Why are they spelled the same?
Right. Wind and wind, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A conlang, a linguist would never do that. So the language actually makes more sense as a language because it's complete. That's also how you can tell it's a conlang, because there's no idiotic, stupid little thing in the middle that's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, that's just the way the language is.
That's just how it works.
Right.
You're gonna have to learn.
So, yeah.
So overall, do we want to see that movie? No. It's more of a Sunday afternoon, nothing else is on.
I'm probably gonna go see it with the girls.
A rainy day, you're kind of in a meh mood.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it.
You know what a better version of that is?
What?
The one for the Star Wars guys.
Fanboys is so
better
good.
Movie.
Oh yeah, totally it is.
Because this looks like it's mocking the Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, oh, we'll appeal to them. But we can't help but poke fun at them. Watch Fanboys. It pokes fun, but it pokes fun at everybody.
It was so well done.
Trey Park was in Fanboys. Trey Park played Darth Maul. He is the security guard at Neverland Ranch.
You mean Ray Park?
Yes. Sorry, what did I say?
Troy
Trey.
or somebody.
Trey Park. No, that's South Park.
Trey Parker
That's different.
is what you're thinking. I think you need to hand over your geek card.
No. He's
Keeping
just
his
been
mind.
watching way too much South Park.
You get the demerit point.
Okay, well, gonna punch a hole in it. After 3
Wait.
holes, you lose it.
I thought you got holes for like earning stuff.
No, that's what you get stickers for.
Well, I thought you got like holes or stamps, and then you get like a free coffee at the
Holes are taking away, stickers adding.
Yeah,
That's good.
you can cover up a hole with a sticker.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you can earn
You can
geek
earn a
cred
sticker.
back. Yes, but
Then
too many
have a
holes
sticky
and the thing just falls apart no matter how many stickers you put on it.
I feel like there are enough stickers on there that I can take the hit.
All right. So, not gonna see it in the theater if it goes to theaters.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it.
I might go see it. I might go see it with the girls.
It probably won't come here. But we don't know.
That happens all the time.
It's 50-50 it'll come here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hard to say.
It'll depend on what comes out at the same time.
Well, that's right. I think it comes out on the 18th, so like next week or something.
Oh,
Did you know that Timmins has a film society?
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
know?
it's all older people, but...
Yeah, I went to one of their movies though. They put on Breadwinner, which is by the same people that did Song of the Sea and Secret of the Kells.
Yeah. I worked at the movie theater for 2.5 years about, and almost every movie that they had come in was just... no one knew what it was. It was like some random movie.
I like some of the stuff that they've been putting on lately though.
Well, speaking of a random movie that you probably haven't heard of, you know who Linda Hamilton is?
Yes.
She played Sarah Connor.
She did.
Yes, she's in a new movie called Curvature. Here's the trailer for it.
Get out.
Phillips, I just want to talk to you.
Don't listen to him.
Who is he?
Everything your husband and I had been doing, researching and dreaming and building.
You want to keep going without him? How much do you know about what Wells was working on when he died?
I want to bring her in. Find out where she's been. You have to assume Wells told her about this project. Don't know where she's been, who she's talked to. We've no idea what she's told people about whatever it is you're doing here.
What's so strange about this? I don't quite understand.
Laws of physics tell us that time travel is impossible.
Why do you think Wells was so secretive about his work?
Maybe that woman's impersonating you, stealing your identity.
It wasn't someone impersonating me. That was me.
You need a doctor, someone who can explain what's happening to you.
I don't think a doctor can explain what's happening to me.
There is a time machine.
No way. I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna figure out why I sent myself back. Tell me what this is. There's a camera hidden in the house, but that's not all.
She is paranoid, delusional.
I think she wants to blow something up.
Want to show them how it's done?
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. This is getting out of control!
If you could go anywhere, anytime, anywhere.
Doesn't tell us much, does it?
Well, it's a preview for a time travel movie. They really can't tell you much.
But the young girl certainly looks like a young Linda Hamilton, doesn't she?
Kinda.
Pretty close.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening in this movie.
Yeah, unfortunately, with a time travel movie, you can't give too much away.
Right.
So, yeah, but then you can't really tell from the previews whether or not you should watch it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just comes down to, do you like Linda Hamilton? Do you like time travel?
I love time travel.
She's not the star, though.
No, but
She's
obviously a draw.
She's a draw.
Like, you put Linda Hamilton in a movie, and you have a large group of people that are like, hey, I should check that out.
You mean like how Michael J. Fox was in Mars Attacks?
Exactly. Like, Mars Attacks had so many famous people in it. Was it a great movie? No.
It was a great movie.
No,
I love Mars
I
Attacks.
don't really like it.
No?
It wasn't amazing, but I mean, Tim Burton directed it at the time when Tim Burton was, like, at the top of the world.
It was great.
You had Michael J. Fox.
Wasn't Pierce Brosnan in it?
Jack Black, Pierce Brosnan. I played the Joker.
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson in 2 roles, which was weird. There's just so many famous people in that movie.
Yeah.
For no reason. Martin Short was in there.
Oh.
I really liked it. I thought Mars Attacks was a great movie. But I would go and see this movie because the action sequences look pretty good, and there seems to be a lot of suspense and mystery, and obviously the time travel is probably the main reason why they are keeping everything secret. So
yeah.
I would watch it.
I would watch it too. I like time travel. It's one of my favorite. Is it a trope or a genre?
I would say it's a genre.
Yeah.
Like Looper was great.
I still haven't seen Looper.
Looper was a terrible time travel movie.
It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I was disappointed.
I liked it. I thought the acting was good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I liked it too, but it just wasn't as good as I wanted.
Their idea of time travel with delayed memories of events that are transpiring, so your future self will remember events that are happening now, but not until after the event has already occurred to the present you, doesn't make sense. And then, I've been running away from you, and then you chopped off the leg from my past me, and now I don't have a leg, and I've never had a leg since then, but I still was able to run away this 100 yards.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Okay, it does have some issues.
But it's fun.
It is.
And up to this point, I've been using my left hand for everything, and suddenly you chop off my left hand, and now I've never had my left hand. But how did I shoot you to cause you to want you to chop off my left hand in the first place?
Are both of these people's past self and future self existing in the same time at the same time?
Yes.
I could see that happening then, because like this future didn't exist until now, or this
Yes.
present. This present didn't exist until now, so it's a new future being made.
But it is not a new future person in the past. It is the same future person in the past, which means, and they are surprised when their hand is missing since it was chopped off 25 years ago.
Yeah, but that like
No,
also like you just said that they existed in the same.
They're in the same time frame.
Yeah.
So, and in the time frame, they've had their hand, both their hands.
Because they're sent back from the future to the
I
past.
think I understand where they were going.
You
with
have to
this,
watch
though.
it.
Is it like?
Yes,
Because
but-
I haven't seen it yet, so.
But then you do something to the past them, and it happens to the future them. But if I didn't have a leg, I would not be surprised that I didn't have a leg from 25 years ago.
Yeah, but I think it's like.
And I wouldn't try to take a step on my missing leg, now would I?
Do you remember watching Back to the Future?
Yes.
How like stuff that happened in the future, they were surprised about certain things having changed because the past got changed.
But the past got changed relative to the person from the future. So
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox still remembers his original timeline.
Yes.
His timeline is he went back in time changed, and he returned to the future.
Yes.
His timeline is unbroken. In this, you're breaking the present because you change the past event of this character. That means that past event was always changed with this character who has not moved from the timeline, but he is altered mid-step.
Yeah, but his past self is also there while he's there,
Yes, but he is not. You're not looking at the timeline, look away, going back in past, and going back to the future and changing the timeline. You're talking about somebody who's interacting with the current timeline. I shake your hand.
Yes.
With my right hand. Then the bad guy blows off your right hand. What did I shake you with?
See, but that's what I mean, though, is like the timeline is changing while they're both present in the present at the same
Except
time.
one is not the present. He's from the future. He is the future timeline interacting with the present timeline.
I know, but like I'm saying that the other guy is moving back and forth across the timeline.
Yes,
and it's the same guy.
He's moved back in the timeline. He's not moving forward again. He's moving along with the timeline.
Yes, but if they're both there at the same time, if it happens, he's going to see it happen, and then it's going to happen to him. If he witnesses it happen, then I can see it being a surprise, because then it's like, oh god, I just saw that happen.
Except then he remembers it.
Well, yeah, because that's his past self. Because eventually he goes back to whatever timeline he's from, I guess.
No, they die.
Oh.
The whole reason is
it's a loop.
But what I
Close the loop.
understand happening, like the train of thought of the person making the production in the first place, I assume it is because they have both of the same person from different timelines existing in the same quote-unquote present at the same time. And that's what I assume
I think you need to see that.
they figured. Yeah, but like from what you're saying, because they're both there,
yes.
like future me and present me who is past me but exists in this timeline, and also they both die in this timeline, so it doesn't matter what happens at all, really. But I assume it's because they're both there at the same time, that's why future me doesn't remember until the thing happens to past me, because it didn't originally happen. Until we were both there at the same time when thing happened.
For that to have happened, you would have had to experience that.
But it didn't happen until when they were both there.
But you would have experienced that. Because...
No, because he went
because
to
he
his
doesn't-
future.
He doesn't live after that, right? So it couldn't have happened outside of the loop. It's in the loop. It's closed. Therefore,
no, it's not. Because we're talking about the time curve that is the loop. Because anything that happened continuing past the loop can't affect. But you have A and A2. A2 comes from the future, does all this stuff, right?
Yes.
And then I go through the loop and become A2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if A2 comes to me and has two hands, I have to have two hands but to become A2.
Yes.
But if you shoot my hand off, A2 isn't me from the future.
Okay, but I thought that they were existing together.
They are existing together.
is it possible that it's more of like a split timeline where he comes back from a time that...
A2 is gone, right? We changed the time, you blew off my hand. A2 is gone, right? Because he had two hands.
Because technically A2 has to be there for A1 to have his hand blown off.
Correct. But A2 can't exist because I don't have a hand anymore. So A2 has two hands.
But...
So therefore A3 has to exist, not coming back on its own timeline somehow. And A3 has to be surprised by losing the hand.
Okay, so in this for this to work, A1, who is in the present, loses his hand.
Correct.
Which means A2 never comes back because he's now a different person because he doesn't have his hand.
Yes.
So A3
3 came back instead.
Came back,
but A3 had a hand when you first interacted with him. That's how you lost your hand, as A1.
Yes.
So A1, you need A2 to make A1 lose his hand. But if A1 loses his hand, A2 doesn't exist.
Yes.
And how can A3, who has always had no hand since he lost it when he was A1, how does he get surprised by the fact that he has no hand?
Because A3 always had his hand because it was from an alternate timeline. When he comes back and merges with this timeline, he becomes susceptible to whatever happens to A1.
I need to see this movie.
This is going to be so much fun to edit, you guys. You have no idea.
So
I don't know. This is all pretty interesting. This is the type of stuff that I listen to podcasts for.
So as...
Because then you think about, like, wait a minute.
I hope
Which
everybody
side am I on?
has seen Looper, because Looper wasn't even a subject when we originally talked about the beginning of the recording. But now, I love how things just meander and just kind of evolve on their own. This is awesome.
Yeah. So, as a time travel movie, it doesn't make sense. And it's a bad example of time travel. Because A2 should be locked in a choiceless universe until he passes the point where A1 no longer exists.
I choose to believe that
Help!
A2,
I'm locked in a choiceless universe!
A2 doesn't...
You were always going to say that.
Doesn't exist. We don't see A2 at all. A2 is destitute somewhere in a hospice or something like that because of his limblessness. A3 shows up because he still has his limbs until the timelines merge, creating a loop between A1 and A3.
So we're discussing 12 Monkeys, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Oh, I enjoyed 12 Monkeys.
It was a good movie.
I love time travel. How about you
Also
guys?
had Bruce Willis.
Yes.
It's all a loop.
Yes. Yeah. Go on. Go on.
That is my theory. This can't happen with less than 3 Bruce Willises.
The continuity of self, however, prevents that. Okay? Because the consciousness that existed then is supposed to be the same consciousness that has returned back, the time loop.
Yes.
So the continuity of self means that any decision that A2 makes, he always made because he was there in the initial time loop. As a loop, it has to continue. So A2 always said, hey, I'm you. Always. He has to say that. He can't say anything else because his experience has to be locked to what it was before.
I think in my head, this loop looks more like a queue, where the loop is A1 and A2, and the line is A3, which intersects.
Except you can't have a single intersection point, because every time there's a major alteration to the individual, you'd have to have an infinite number of intersection points.
Okay, well now it's a circle with a line through it.
No, it would be a field. Because if you make a loop and then put an infinite number of intersecting lines through it, all you would have would be a flat, even field with no spaces. And which means time doesn't exist, everything is illusion, the reality is a joke.
Maybe that's the truth.
Isn't that, yeah.
And my favorite episode of Star Trek The Next Generation was Parallels. You know, the one where
I
all the dwarfs.
I know the one you're talking
yeah,
about.
that's the best one.
I think it's probably just difficult to do time travel anything. Because, like, we had things to pick over when they did the Terminator movies.
So are we going to go see Curvature? Are we excited for it?
I mean, I think at this point we have to.
We have to. We have to go see it. And then Josh is going to pick apart why it's wrong. Because he does that with all movies. Not even just time travel movies, but all movies.
I will do my best to defend it. But if it doesn't give me much to defend, I won't be able to.
Well, I can also just like a movie with it being wrong.
Oh, yeah. I can also like a movie with it being wrong.
Yeah, but you can't stop talking about how it's wrong, and then people think that you hate the movie and everything.
I know, he clearly enjoyed Looper.
Oh, it was a fantastic
good
movie.
See, but he didn't say that earlier. Everybody else listening probably thought that Josh hates Looper.
Yeah, but if you're not, if you hated it, he wouldn't be as passionate about it as he is.
Okay, but when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I love Looper," Josh was like, "And then proceeded to tell us why Looper's wrong.
No, he was about the time travel of it. He said it was a good movie.
He said it was a good movie
the
now.
acting.
He didn't say
Yes.
it before. We can even re-listen to the podcast after.
Think about it. When he talks about the new Star Trek, he talks about it a little bit and then stops. Whereas this conversation went on and it was heated and there was good back and forth.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he actively cares about it and does think, in fact, it is a good movie.
And there was significantly less...
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of, like, gruntling sadness noises when he talks about Discovery. I think he dislikes
That's
that
the
it
Josh
exists
noise.
at all.
Gruntling.
Gruntling.
Gruntling Josh.
Okay.
We need a Gruntling Josh action figure.
We do.
He
like
squishes,
press on its stomach.
he crushes his tummy and he curls in a little bit and makes
Star Trek.
We love you, Josh.
So much. So very, very much.
So since we're in the middle of trailers, moving on.
Do we have another trailer?
We do.
Which one?
We have
Black Panther.
You're telling me that the king of a third world country runs around in a bulletproof catsuit? Why don't you ask him yourself? Because he's right outside. Bingo.
My king.
Stop it.
The Black Panther lives.
A war is coming. That's damn calm.
Watch me do my...
I hope you're ready, bro. Because I'm just getting started. Let's have some fun.
You show off.
I want your weapons. Your secrets. It's all mine now. Is this your king? This ends today.
Get tickets now.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see it. February 16th. It looks amazing.
Love it.
I can't see anything wrong with it. What about you, Katie?
It looks great.
It's definitely a theater watch.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful looking.
Yeah,
And
it
it
is.
has really good music. And I like that there's accents in it.
Yeah?
It actually, I understand kind of why Michael B. Jordan's character doesn't have an accent, but it bugs me that he doesn't. Because he has just a very straight American voice.
Who's Michael B. Jordan in this? Is he the bad guy?
He's the bad guy.
Okay.
And everybody else has this, like, really thick, like, African accent, and he has nothing.
Yeah, but what's his backstory in the universe?
I'm fairly sure he was, like, sent off and stuff like that, so it makes sense for him not to have one.
Plus, not everybody else has it, just like the people from Wakanda.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He is Wakandan.
Yeah, I know, but like he left.
Yeah.
So it looks great, and we're excited, and we're going to watch it.
Yes.
Okay, good enough. Let's move on to wrap up the podcast and talk about the Black Widow movie that's coming out called Red Sparrow.
It is not.
It's not?
It is Black Widow. It is. It hits all of her story beats.
I read an article that said it's the exact same thing. But realistically, yes, they are in development for a Black Widow solo film for real. There is writers attached, and what's her name? Scarlett Johansson was consulted on where she wants the character arc to go and all that good stuff.
Yep.
But Jennifer Lawrence is in a trailer for Red Sparrow, which we're not going to play on the show. But according to the article that Josh and I read, it's the exact same.
I watched the trailer.
So did I. Yeah.
It's Black Widow. That's it.
Red Sparrow is Black Widow.
Yeah, it could be that.
Ballerina, Russian training, all this good stuff.
Oh, so they go like
it's a deep cut.
Close.
Oh yeah.
They watched that flashback montage in the last movie with her.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, well, let's just make that before they have a chance to, and they did.
That's dirty.
Black Widow, Red Sparrow sounds kind of the same. Yeah. You know what they did.
That's kind of genius.
That's evil.
And
yeah, well, evil.
Do you know what I can't believe? I can believe Scarlett Johansson as the top seductress.
I like Jennifer Lawrence.
She looks half asleep all the time.
I forget who she is.
It's the sexy, half-lidded, closed
She
eyelids.
was Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games, Chicky.
I've never seen Hunger Games, but I know Mystique.
I like that I can go Mystique before Hunger Games, and people get that.
Yeah.
That makes me really happy.
I'm like, oh, Mystique, I know who that is. And they're like, Hunger Games. And I'm like, who is she in Hunger Games? And they're like, Katniss. And I'm like, is that the main girl?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I know it's really good. Just haven't seen it.
I don't find Jennifer Lawrence as... Like, I wouldn't go, oh, she's a seductress.
No?
No.
I find her very attractive. Scarlett Johansson is still more attractive.
No.
Josh has a thing about eyes.
She is...
Scarlett Johansson has great eyes.
She does.
True.
She is very... She's got the girl next door thing.
Yes.
But not in the, ooh, she's the sexy girl next door. She's
true.
just the girl next door.
Who?
Like,
which one?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Whereas Scarlett Johansson could be like a female James Bond seductress kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, that really just matters like how you dress it up, though, right?
Yeah,
no, I've
she
seen
has
her
that-
dressed up. Dressed up, she looks like the girl next door in a Halloween costume.
Well, but like...
She'd make a great Mary Jane.
That's your opinion,
Yes.
too, though. Because, like, beauty's all in
No,
the
she
eye of
wouldn't.
the beholder,
You don't think
right?
so?
Not a Mary Jane.
I think she'd be great with Mary Jane because she's got attitude.
No, she would not. Mary Jane is not supposed to be the girl next door.
Yes, she is.
She is.
Mary Jane
is the girl next door.
Mary Jane
She
is
literally was...
a girl next door.
No.
Mary Jane is a supermodel.
She's a supermodel, but at the base of it, she is the girl next door. That's how she started. That was her thing.
No, she's always been super attractive.
Yes.
I think...
That's not
what
the
you're
girl
trying
next
to say
door.
is Shane means that she's the girl who lived next door to Peter, and Josh is saying
I saw the Tobey Maguire
typically
movie.
supermodels don't grow up next door to people; they just grow up with.
Okay, supermodels don't sprout
People.
from the ground. They do, in fact, grow up next door to people.
Or
Yes.
If they did, I would have some supermodel seeds for sale.
Right?
I'll
I
tell
would
you
totally
what.
have a garden right now.
A garden of supermodels?
Oh, wait, Sarah can't listen to this episode.
you said that you would make her.
No.
So no, the girl next door is a character trope, not just a person who lives next door.
I agree. I totally
And
agree.
I'm speaking of the character trope.
Mary Jane's personality, at the base of it, is a girl next door personality. Her body just happened to, go past that.
Except we're not speaking about her personality. We're speaking about her body,
Being
which
a
is literally.
seductress is a large thing about your personality. I believe it's more about personality than it is about base good looks.
To
I'd have to
convey
agree
the
with you on that.
personality, to convey that on screen, you need a good-looking person.
You do. Yes, they're both good-looking people. But Scarlett Johansson has more of the personality to pull it off than Jennifer Lawrence.
But what
does.
we
Josh
should
is just
really,
very picky about face.
what we should really be talking about is the quality of their acting. The looks do not matter. It's who you are on the inside.
Lies.
And that's the official position of Sean and the
Okay,
Rusted
even
Robot
if we're going
podcast.
off on it
I'd
with
have to
being-
agree with Sean, as in, like, your personality is what matters the most, but...
As a person, yes.
Well, as a person. But the thing is that they're actors and actresses, so it's difficult to tell what their real personality is like at all, because they're just acting.
And-
But what Shane and Sean are trying to talk about is how personality is what divvies up whether or not you're a girl next door or a seductress. And anybody who's ever read the Archie comics knows that because Betty and Veronica are the same person physically. They're drawn exactly the same, but they have different hair. But Betty's the girl next door, and Veronica's not. Yeah. And Josh is the one who's just like, I'm only focusing on looks. We're talking about an actress. We have no idea what their personalities are like at all. And he's weirdly fixated about face and eyes.
Exactly. And if you go back to Mary Jane, she started out as the girl next door and became a supermodel.
Yes, but
She's
she was
still the girl next door.
The moment Peter sees her in her initial draw, he is stunned by her attractiveness.
Yes, she's a beautiful woman.
That isn't...
Who happens to live next door.
Exactly.
That isn't the trope, though. She's good looking, but not stunning is the girl next door trope.
Would you like me to Google image search girl next door?
Have
I
you-
guarantee you
have
they
you
will be
seen-
crazy
No,
attractive.
yeah.
Have you seen Rachel Lee Cook and She's All That?
Again, that's
That was a
playing
good
with
movie.
the trope. That's the whole point of it, is, oh, the girl next door, oh my god, she's super hot. It's literally the trope.
Wait, have you seen The Girl Next Door?
Yeah, but
it's a movie, and she is ridiculously
Yeah, but
attractive.
that's the point, though, because, like, they just mean, like, when people say the girl next door, generally what they mean is average girl who everybody sees everywhere, and there's nothing particularly remarkable about them, which is why it becomes a trope for many adult movies and other movies to make the girl next door very, very attractive, which is why when you look up the girl next door on the internet, which you shouldn't do because the internet is for PORN,
So to break
that's what you'll find.
So to break it down, basically what we're saying is Jennifer Lawrence and Scarlett Johansson are both attractive, but you may think one is more attractive than the other.
One is clearly more attractive than the
To
other.
you.
And everybody has their own opinions on levels of
To everybody at
attractiveness.
this table.
You know what? It's a toss-up. It's 50-50, because Scarlett Johansson has that very much, like, I work out every day, like, I'm super fit.
She's
and-
healthy looking.
Yes. Whereas Jennifer Lawrence has a little bit more of that, like, curvy...
Oh, Josh doesn't care about that. It's that
thickness.
her
like,
eyes are half
there's
closed all the
nothing
time.
wrong with that at all.
No, Josh just doesn't like that her eyes won't open all the way.
Maybe she's tired. She's
She
been
might be
working hard.
very tired.
Have you
She's a
seen how
very
many
busy
movies
lady.
she's in?
It's true. She's in a lot of movies. She's probably just tired.
Well, even, like, it's not even that her eyes won't open all the way. It's just that, like, I don't know how to explain it properly. I think it's just that she has a slightly thicker eyelid.
Maybe she's part Neanderthal.
No, like...
Not her brow.
Well, also, some people find it attractive when a girl, like, doesn't completely look like she cares and
They
stuff.
call
Like,
those-
she's just there because she's there.
Well, even, like, her eyes are what's considered bedroom eyes. When people are talking about them, that's
Yes.
how you draw
That's right.
somebody who's being
That-
seductive.
the half-closed, sexy,
but
droopy
Josh
eyelid.
prefers people who look insane and have giant, wide Coca-Cola advertisement
constant
eyeballs,
look of
which is why
surprise.
he married me.
I want my partners to be alert and understanding of what's transpiring around
Wait,
them.
so then why were you mad about Battle Angel?
Because
Her eyes are super big.
Because her eyes are the size of softballs.
Yes, but she's very aware all the time.
Yeah,
She's
and
probably
she's also,
seeing, like,
she's
360
also like
degrees.
a robot, so
Yes.
like she's not going to be unaware. Like you'd have
Yeah.
to like dislodge her power.
Like, she's a
core.
very aesthetically pleasing person, and she has very alert eyes.
Yeah.
That's right.
If
So-
she was real, Josh would probably be like, you know what, she's okay.
Yes.
Her and her
And-
giant softball eyes.
Yeah, and to sum it all up, no matter how attractive or unattractive someone is, it's what's on the inside that counts.
I would like to bring up that if there was such a thing as a time travel machine, somebody would have come back and stopped you from saying that.
Time travel meeting here. Meet next Thursday. Last
No,
Thursday.
no, like
Meet
5
last-
minutes ago.
Meet last Thursday.
No, like, if someone had built a time machine and then they were like, hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this thing, they would have done it already.
If no one comes from the future to stop you from doing it, how bad of a decision can it really be?
You know, there are no time machines.
Sacrilege, my friend. Sacrilege.
There are no time machines!
Yeah, there are no time machines.
No, Shane might be wrong with the whole of the universe.
Oh, okay. Well, there. Okay.
Maybe every
We're
time
not
somebody comes
going
back in a time machine, it's a new alternate reality. All our memories get changed, and we don't know.
So I just died?
You could have. We don't know.
Ooh, has anybody ever seen The Melancholy of Hiroki Suzumiya?
What?
No.
Is that English? Is that words?
It's from Japan.
It is a fantastic show.
I'm sure it is.
That one has alternate timelines.
I like alternate timelines.
It's really crazy.
They're great if done well.
You guys said that you were looking for like animes to watch. That
No, I'm not watching anime. I don't like. I decided.
You don't like them?
No, I don't
You know
care.
what? No.
That's like saying you don't like TV.
Whoa.
There's so many different genres.
Like 2 years ago, I would be going along with him on this, and I would be like, you know what, anime, not really my thing, not into it. If you find the right anime, you get sucked in.
Well,
yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
dangerous.
Yeah, I just haven't found the right one, I guess.
Well, what's your thing? What kind of thing are you into?
I'm really liking Voltron. Is that anime? Is
Yes.
that-
Yes.
See, I love
Yeah.
that.
Ta-da!
That's great. I love it. So if that's anime, that's my cup
yeah,
of tea.
there's lots of...
There's a lot of anime just like that, actually.
Well, then you need to write me up a list. But
It's
not right now,
basically its own
because
thing.
we've reached more than an hour on the podcast, so we need to wind it down.
Aw.
Winding down.
Hold.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Because I have a hypothetical. Sort of. I have a question.
Okay.
It's an opinion question.
All right.
So you'll all be wrong. What actor do you think has, amongst their repertoire of characters, the most powerful set of characters?
That's easy.
Is it?
Yes. It hands down has to go to either Morgan Freeman, because he's been God, or...
He's been a limited god. He has shown in his way of doing things that he doesn't really have a choice in the way he does things. Any choice he makes is a destructive choice. Therefore, he has to do nothing to be a good god. That's the whole point of Bruce Almighty.
Okay. My other option, Liam Neeson. Zeus, Qui-Gon Jinn, pretty much everything he's ever done.
Well, this is a question for next week. I want the people to get in. I thought of Morgan Freeman right away too, but then I thought about it. He's actually quite limited as God. He has more limitations placed on him than he has freedoms from it. Now, Liam Neeson's got some, Zeus, but other people have played Zeus. Other people have played other of the Greek gods.
Ooh.
See? This is more difficult than you think, because you have to look up their entire repertoire.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins would be scary if you mixed all of his stuff together.
Odin plus Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah!
So
this
Everyone
is for next
gets
week?
eaten.
This is for next week. I want everybody to write in just their actor and the 3 choices that you think, like, this seals it.
Okay. All right. So that's what we'll do for next week. Our homework for next week is the most
Is
powerful
that and
actor.
for Shane to watch an episode of Star Trek.
Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool and Green Lantern.
Those are good choices.
Oh, and Hannibal King. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, see, it's a tough one, right?
See? Oh, that's easy!
So
And then suddenly...
they can write in to the Rusted Robot email address, which is therustedrobot@gmail.com,
Yep. And they can also go to our Twitter account.
which is @therustedrobot.
And they can also go to the Facebook page.
Facebook.com/group/therustedrobotpodcast, or whatever it is.
And then they can also send us Instagram.
Yes, @Darth Vaderloo.
And then they can call us at Sean's home number, which is...
Oh, I disconnected it.
Oh, okay.
But they can do it here. You got a home phone, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't have a home phone.
Oh.
I don't think I know anyone with a home phone besides my parents.
We actually had one. And
Yeah,
it
we
was
had
on
one for a
weird-
year. We plugged the phone in once.
We had like a strange candlestick telephone where like you speak into the one piece that you hold with your one hand and then you have the weird earpiece that you hold to your other hand that looks like a funnel.
My parents still have one of those, and it works. It's
Yeah.
one of them, like, wall-mounted ones.
I
It's really cool.
I sold mine to a friend of mine because she's making her whole house like weird old 1920s style stuff.
That's
so yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that has been episode 183.
Wait, I have one more. Scarlett Johansson, Lucy.
Horrible movie of the
Yeah, but
Rusted
she's, like,
Robot podcast.
omnipotent at the end.
Speaking of anime, if you like
Are we still going? Oh, okay.
if you like Lucy, what's that weird anime that we have?
Oh, dear God, you have to be more specific.
It's basically Lucy. It has Nana, who has no arms or legs.
Elfin Lead.
If you like Lucy, watch that. That is all.
Oh, gore warning.
Oh, yes.
Gore warning.
Well, if they liked Lucy, they're gonna know.
No, no.
Well, then we might as well go watch Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson too, right? That was a horrible movie.
I ain't
But you
never
get to see
seen it.
boobs, kind of. Not really.
Scarlett Johansson boobs?
Yeah. It was a horrible movie. Under the Skin? Don't. Ugh. It's as bad as Lucy. They were both sucky.
They were both sucky?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Elfin Lead is really good.
I'm
Elfin
sure
Lead
it
is
was.
really good.
Anything else before we wrap up the podcast?
I think I'm all out of stuff.
All right, well, that's good then. Okay, so this has been the never-ending episode, 183, of the Rusted Robot podcast, located here at the Underground Bunker in Timmins.
Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about underground bunkers.
That'll be probably another episode sometime in the future, because I'm done now, and I want to go home. So don't forget to subscribe to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Tell your friends about the Rusted Robot Podcast. Share the links on your Twitter, your Instagram, and your Facebook. And remember, if you can't say something nice, make it funny. This has been another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. You can contact us by emailing therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweeting us at therustedrobot. Visit our website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. And, if you would, please check us out and like us on Facebook. A 5-star review in iTunes is appreciated. The Rusted Robot Podcast was written, produced, scored, edited, engineered, and directed by Sean Vanderloo. Your co-host was Josh Montney. Don't forget to visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and listen to our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Sean on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
And just before we go, a little bit of late-breaking news. Just been announced that we are going to get Season 2 of Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson in the spring of 2019. And in other news, it looks like Viacom and CBS are going to re-merge, and so that means Star Trek is going to be back under one license. And now, without further ado, here's your end song, a blank page Taylor Swift parody in the vein of Death Note.
Nice to meet you, God of Death. Shimmy got me, appear before me. Wanna cleanse this world of sin. Gives me a book and I think, oh my God, what is this page? I'll make this earth a better place. I'll bring forth Judgment Day. How's it going? Name is Light. And it's my job now to mass delete. Almost funny how they all die. No idea it's because of me. So hey, I'll bring an end. Then like a god, I will ascend. I take this pen within my hand. I can make the bad guys die over weeks and make you burning up forever. I just gotta know your real name. Heart attack, then it's over. Find a way to pass off the blame. Got a plan to forget this happened. They'll just think I'm insane. All of you are just my pieces, and I run the game. But the kid is getting reckless. He's going way too far. We're gonna bring in the justice. No, I don't care how hard. Got a plan to forget this happened. They'll just think I'm insane. But I've got a blank page, baby. I just need your name. Eating way too many sweets. Who's this new guy? No, I can't tell. Keeping anonymity says that we can just call him L. Find out what he needs. I get the feeling he can see the man we're after's really me. Oh no, scheming, lying, pages torn. I'll fill your plans up with twists and turns. Make you wish you're never bored. I swear I'll make you burn, and I'll take this potato chip, take some lives, then I'll eat it. I'll learn that name and win this fight, cause it'll be a dark world without light. Make you burning up forever. I just gotta know your real name. Heart attack, then it's over. Find a way to pass off the blame. Got a plan to forget this happened. They'll just think I'm insane. All of you are just my pieces, and I run the game. But the kid is getting reckless. He's going way too far. We're gonna bring in the justice. No, I don't care how hard. Got a plan to forget this happened. They'll just think I'm insane. But I've got a blank page, baby. I just need your name.
This has been a Valley of Vanderloo podcast production, all rights reserved.
This transmission ends now.